Hello everyone, this is a new tutorial based on the lifetime deal running currently on APPSUMO called Hexometer. Now, Hexometer is a tool that will help you to monitor and give you some interesting reports about your website. We're talking about uptime, speed of the website, some DNS verification records, to check some W3C Council validation, so if there are some errors, and it will scan basically your site also for broken links and some meta tags optimization or missing tags, for example. As you can see, this is their website, is located at hexometer.com. It checks for more than 3,000 data points. At the moment, the website shows 2,800, but I can confirm, being in contact with them, that there are more. So it's pretty interesting. Now, it has some nice feature like the Chrome add-on, for example, which will speed up, for example, your checking of website. And when you enter it, you will be able to see a few interesting uh, data that probably you can use to improve your website. Now, I will show you what it looks like, and I will go through that AppSumo deal at the moment running. So if you click on under the dashboard, it will load up. Now I got a test website I use. As you can see, it's a pretty clean dashboard with some interesting data. It has the updated screenshot of the website based on their last scan. It checks the IP address, the DNS record, broken links with bad links and good links. As you can see, it can scan quite a significant amount of URL, which is good. Shows for canonical URL, HTTPS, social link, the presence of all those elements which are key for any website. And then it gives you an overview of the, for example, checks here, as you can see, of all the errors based on the HTML W3 console. You can see later what it looks like. This is fine as well. It will check the response from the server about the uptime or downtime of the website, so you can check if there are some issue and be notified about it. It also analyzes your meta tags of the website and the homepage assets. So, for example, in this website, as you can see, is loading a lot of JavaScript, for example, in terms of weight, a few CSS and the images. So it shows you the balance, basically, of the assets loaded on a site. Now, first thing, there are various plans. So the plans are based on the number of websites you can use and the number of URL that you can potentially scan, and the monitoring is always on, which is great. So what I will do now with this tool, first thing, I want to use it to troubleshoot and fix my broken links, because as you may know, and if you don't know, I will link into my video below the description a few pages, like 2 or 3 pages, where you can check what's the impact of bad URL, basically. So it's interesting to know how it works. In my opinion, it's best to know and go to fix them immediately. The 500 error is the most critical, in my opinion. Is a missing, really, asset or a server error, really. So when you got a server error, it's best to have a look at that quite immediately. But the other thing to check is the 404, which is one of the most common error. We run, for example, an e-commerce website, and I run also other sites for my customer. And when you, for example, have a product which is gone because it's out of stock and it won't go back in stock, you have two options: set a 301 redirect, for example, or set a 410 to say to Google indexer, hey, this product is not anymore present, remove it from the SERP as it won't go back. Or potentially you can add a 301 to relocate, to redirect the content of the old product, for example, to a new similar one, so the visitor really doesn't lose the focus on the product he wants to buy. Let's say you are selling a red shoes made by Nike in a particular product, in a particular code, let's say. but that's out of stock. Instead of removing completely that from the SERP, you can potentially use a redirect, 301 redirect, to another URL that will be interesting, because obviously you can redirect to another red shoes with a similar item. So potentially you can, still give the buyer an opportunity to see a similar product. He may be interested, instead of losing your, I would say, opportunity with a message like this page is not present anymore. So let's go through the broken link. Click here, broken link. As you see, it will display a few broken links. Luckily for me, I already fixed quite a lot of them thanks to the tool, which is very good. Then you got also an auto repaired one and a resolved task. Now this is for their plugin. They got a plugin for WordPress, which is basically something more developed. You don't need any manual really intervention. You can use it and it will help you to speed up the 404 fixes, which is great. Now, as you can see, those are the URL. This is where it's been detected, and this is the error, I would say, URL. So we go back to our dashboard, and then over here to the right we got the see details button close to the broken link scanner. Very convenient. Here you can download the CSV report, or you can just check, for example, the 404. Now this is the 404, for example. This is 403, and this is the 200, which is great. So what I'll do, by the way, I will just download the CSV report. Once it's ready, we'll open it. I use my Excel filter data. Just give me a second. You can clean it a bit more, obviously, and see the error. Once you're ready, you can filter the content by their error. So I'll check, for example, 404 and 500. Now the 500, I'm checking that it's related to some dynamic pages, so it's not really an error. I want to get, obviously, a fix. And then we got all the URL that we can potentially redirect to a proper domain, a proper site, a proper content really inside our own page, which is great. So this is the first thing you can do with this tool. You got the same for the meta tag analyzer, which is great, and this is to me the most valuable so far thing. I mean, it may be very easy for you to think, well, it's not a big problem, because obviously you can use other tools. You can use Uptime Robot, for example, and you check if the website is up and down or active. That's true. The interval though is different, because Hexometer checks with a very short time compared to that tool. And regarding the broken links, you can use other tools, also paid tools or free tools, but the scanning depth and the number of pages is not usually the same. So this is our all-in-one tool with a very clean dashboard. Plus the developer are going forward into adding some new tools, new checks. Just a side note, if you click here, as you can see, top right, you have page analyzer, domain whois, broken links, meta tags. You got other things really that you can do. If you click on them now, you will be redirected to their own free tools, but this is just temporary actually, because it will be linked to your dashboard with a completely different page where you can check and use these tools, which is good. Also, if you click here, you can see, for example, the various status with a different URL. As you can see, I started, and that's interesting to show, with a 32 URL with 404, 21, then a troubleshooted, now I'm with 8. And that's important because, as you can see, I'm lowering my error on the site, and that's good, that's very good. Then we got also the uptime monitoring, for example, which is pretty intense server-wise. So if you think about a tool that is checking every minute, every 2 minutes, like this. Check this. It's pretty consistent. So server-wise, it's something that costs, and I think having a tool like this into your arsenal may be a good option if you are into web development or just web service as an agency. Now, go back to the deal, which is important. It's on AppSumo at the moment, and there have been some critics around the deal. Myself too. I've not been very happy about a few things about the deal, so I'll go through that and tell you my honest opinion on this. Now, if you go back to this single code, you got one premium website, 5,000 URL scans. It will scan every 1 minute just for the premium sites, and then they added those agency sites. Now, agency sites are smaller, I would say. Agency sites, they call like that, but it means some extra sites that you can add for free, usually on the site, on their own website, but with 3,000 URL. Now, those 10 will have 10,000 URL. You can use them. They will have obviously 5 minutes more uptime monitoring, which is completely acceptable in my eye. And then you got the other full tools enabled also for those 10 agency websites. Now, the price for this, it's good to me, quite acceptable, I would say. Obviously, if you're an agency, you want to go forward and check the multiple stacks. So let's say you stack 5 codes, you'll have $245 for 15 premium sites and 50 agency websites. I would say that many of you may think that 10,000 URL, for example, it's a lot. It's not really a lot. If you think that, for example, when you got a website like a two-language website, every URL in a different language, for example, will be a different URL. So don't think it's a lot. Also, it's still acceptable, I would say. I got like in our website, because obviously it will check all the URL, including the image URL. I mean, that's a proper scan, full scan. So end of the day, it's not just the URL you see, but it's also the image URL, the CSS URL. So let's say that website you checked, it's made of roughly 3,000 products, but it's in 2 languages, and it has all the assets. So I'm roughly at 50,000 URL, just to give you a rough overview. Now, the 5-stack plan, it's good if you're an agency, in my opinion, but it's been criticized a lot, also by me, for a simple reason. So far at this stage, you can't change the website you assign as a premium. So let's say you buy this 49, you got one premium website which will have all the full feature with 15,000 URL, but you can add the 10 agency website. Problem is that you can't change the premium domain website to another domain. And this is something people and the community didn't like at all. I didn't like it either. I think this tool should be flexible, because, for example, I can buy 1, 3, or 5 stacks, it doesn't matter, but I want to use, for example, the premium scan for one site, fix what I need to fix, and then just keep, for example, that website as an agency one, because the core feature for me will be not the scan of all the parameters, but just the uptime, for example. So I absolutely think that this deal must give the opportunity to change the premium website. I can understand that if they set some sort of margins, like you can change once per month, that could work, because when you work with such tools, you want to monitor your website for at least 2 weeks. You don't want just to monitor for 2 days and then change the website, because obviously the scan will always bring you some new detail. So in my opinion, this is mandatory. I had a chat with them. I wrote my honest advice on their AppSumo page. I contacted them because at the end of the day, it's a valuable tool, but it must work. And in my opinion, to get the best out of it, they have to understand also this. They are working hard on this. They said before the deal ends, they will release that sort of deal, so you can potentially swap it. So what I'll do, so far I will advise you to get the tool, test it, because it's working well for us. It's working well, and once you test it and you check if it's good or bad, you can decide if you want to keep it. If they release this extra feature, obviously, to give you the opportunity to change their premium website between different sites, then for me it's a green light. If no, I would say buy only if you really need it for your site, that you know it's a premium website, and just for a smaller one. Bear in mind the limits, because as I said, 10,000 URL are not a lot, but they're not either, you know, low as a value. So based on your needs, it may be convenient. Even 2 codes will give you 20 agency website and 3 premium website. It's still good to me, so I recommend to get it if you can have immediate use, and probably you do have, because everyone has a website, I suppose. And watch out for these new updates. They will have also a new control panel, and I think Hexometer so far it's a good tool. They just need to fix a few things and tweak the dashboard a bit more. But once it's finished, it can be really a good tool to get into your own arsenal, I would say, of tool. So thanks for watching. Remember to click into my link below. It's not an affiliate link actually, so it will redirect you to the APPSUMO deal page. It will redirect you also to a few pages I think will help you understand what's good about other properties, and you can take it from there. Comment below, contact me for any needs, and if you want to use the tool and need some help, I'll be happy to give you a quick consult about it. So thanks for watching and take good care. This is Fab. Bye.